Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the concept of hypertext transfer protocol, which is nothing but HTTP. Already you know the term HTTP. Okay, every time when you write any of the websites, it will be starting with the HTTP or HTTPS. HTTPS is nothing but secure. Nowadays, which is being used as HTTPS, which is nothing but which is secure than that of the previous one, that is your HTTP. So today in this session you will be learning about the HTTP concept. Before that, you have to learn some of the concepts, or you should know the term protocol means. Already I have discussed in the previous session what do you mean by a protocol. So protocol, it's nothing but a regulating communication. It's a nothing but a standard procedure which will define and regulate the communication. Regulate communication is nothing but I want to put some rules and regulations before you communicate. That is said to be the protocol. It may be a TCP, UDP, or HTTP protocol. Transmission control protocol, user datagram protocol, and HTTP protocol. This mainly HTTP protocol foundation, mainly it is said to be introduced for the data communication through the help of the WWW, nothing but World Wide Web. The HTTP is a web application layer. Mainly it's a web application layer which will help you out in transferring the information. It may be of any kind. It may be a plain text, it may be a hypertext or an image or a video. Any kind of data, it is said to be helpful to transmit. For that reason, the HTTP is being confined or used. Okay, mainly it is used in the World Wide Web. Okay, the HTTP. Okay, mainly in this concept of HTTP, you should learn some of the meanings of some of the terms. So one of them is your IP address. It's nothing but a numerical format which is being given for each and every device. Each and every device which you are using, it will be having its your own IP address. Your mobile has, your system has, your laptop has, or any other handheld devices. Those it will be consisting of the IP addresses. Okay, then you have the TCP. TCP is nothing but transmission control protocol. It's a protocol which is used or combined with the TCP IP. Mainly it is helpful in transmitting the information in a proper way, plus in an ordered way, plus you can even check the errors which are being there in that particular data. If any error is there, once again it is retransmitted back. That happens each and every time in the network, that whenever a problem happens, then it will like get the data from the previous one, and once again it will be delivered to the destination. Okay, and another part is there which you will be learning is the port number. Okay, port number is nothing but it's a 16-bit number which is being used for each and every communicating devices. Whichever device I may use, I'll be using the concept of a port number. One is the IP address, but another thing is that you need the port number of that particular device to get interacted. Okay, and another one is there called as socket. Socket is nothing but it's the combination of both IP address and the port number. Okay, so next, you will be learning about how the HTTP works. So HTTP is main task of it is, okay, whenever a client is there, you are a client, that client it requests to the server and the server gives the response to the client. Okay, it will be having a TCP connection. Mainly each and every time it will be related, and the connection it is said to be established through the help of the TCP. Okay, and whichever browser which is there, which is said to be using it within the server, that browser it will help you out in getting communicated from one end to another through the help of a socket. It gets linked through the IP addresses and the port numbers which are being used for different devices. Okay, that is said to be your HTTP part. Remember, it's the communication between the client and the server. Okay, so how it works, for example, I want to search a website called as www.yahoo.com. This client it requests for the web server, okay, this particular site. Then next step is, okay, it moves here, sorry, it moves to this part, and it will fetch the IP address from the server. Whichever IP address of that yahoo.com is there, it will be fetched, and afterwards when the IP address is being fetched, what will happen is, okay, it gets the IP address here, that is 69.147.76 and 0.15. This it will be displayed, and it will be fetched to the client. Okay, it fetches the client with the IP address. Okay, a web page is said to be requested, a web page is being requested, at that time it requests that particular web page and it will be sending that particular IP address to the client. Okay, this way it will display that particular Yahoo IP address on the screen. Mainly it will not display the IP address, it will be displaying that particular site. Wherever you are said to be visiting that particular thing, it will be displayed. But mainly it is said to be accessing with each other through the help of the IP address. Okay, in this concept of HTTP, there are two types of connection. One is said to be a persistent and another one is said to be non-persistent. Okay, so what is non-persistent is, it's a communication or connection with request or response with a pair of data which is said to be having a separate TCP connection. But here in persistent, it maintains the same TCP connection between both the ends, requesting and giving a response. Okay. Next is your HTTP request. When I am requesting the message and when I am passing a request to the other end, it will be having various things. One of the thing is your request line. It requests for that particular section, and then the header lines, it will be there. It is nothing but it will be displaying from where or from whom the request is being fetched. Then it will be having a part called as various fields which are being included in the request message. One is get, post, head, put and delete. Getting the information, posting the information, getting the heading of that particular thing, putting that data onto the server and deleting if it is not said to be required. All these methods are there in the HTTP request. Okay, even it has other fields which are being considered: request line, the header line, the blank line and the entity body which has said to be entered with the particular text which is said to be used. Okay, then in this request method, when you consider, you have the getting the URL, head, meta information which will get the information related to the document, from where the document is being sent or received. Retrieved is nothing but received, that information is being there. Then deleting the particular URL. Then you have options, it is nothing but request information available with various other options too. Okay, then you have put, store the document onto the underlined specified URL, it is there. Then posting, giving the information, fetching from the server. Tracing is nothing but if any problem is there, it has to trace where the problem is and once again the message has to be got back. And connect is nothing but you use the proxies to get connected multiple times. When I am requesting the same thing, it will be using the proxy server. Okay, HTTP response messages, it will be consisting of the part on a status line, header lines and the entity body. Status, it will be providing the status of the particular data. Then you have header. Header is nothing but, as I said, from where the information is got and what is the value of that particular information, that it is to be considered. And the entity body, whatever message is there, that is the entity body. Okay, let's check what the status code consists of. Okay, so status code consists of various parts. It may be having the errors which are being associated or the phrases you may have seen also. If it is 200 okay, then the request is said to be granted. 301 is nothing but I have moved this page to somewhere else, I have looked to somewhere else, that is 301. Whereas 400 is nothing but a error has occurred and due to which the request is not said to be granted, that is 400. 404, if the request is not said to be found on the server, then it is 404. 505 is nothing but it's a version which is supported by the system. Okay, this particular status code consists of the informational part which gives the information of the data, then sources which are being used, then redirecting the data from one end to another end, client, if any error is there it will be given, and even the server error also it will be displayed. Okay, this is the part of your status code. Then another part is there in the HTTP called as the stateless protocol. So stateless is nothing but whenever the information is accessed to the server, that server, it will not be having the information of the client. That for that reason it is called as a stateless protocol. The multiple times, 3 times, 4 times he may access, that particular person but that particular person's IP address, it will not be maintained on the server, or it will not maintain that particular user's address. It will be maintaining only the IP address from where it has got. Actual communication, it is not between only one system. So it is from multiple systems the information may have got transferred. So what happens here is the IP address each and every time changes. So it maintains the IP address, but it will not know from where the information is being got. So for that reason, it is called as a stateless protocol. Okay, and whenever the information is being received, it is through the TCP connections, where the information you are said to be applying for the web server. The web server may display the information, but at that time, each and every time when a request is being granted, a request is being made, a response is being made, or whichever information which is being accessed through any of the browsers, and whenever the information is being stored on the database, then you are said to be running the cookies. Okay, so mainly it has four components. Remember, the cookie, it can give the response, it can request the message, it can maintain the status of the browser, and it can like each and every time it can update the database. Okay, that it will be done by the cookies. Okay, and each and every time this diagram depicts is the from one system to another system, it will be requesting and response is being given to in the database. Requested, once again it will be stored in the database with the response. So client requests, the server sends the response, requesting, sending the response, and each and every time the data, it is said to be maintained on a separate database on the server, whichever informations are being accessed from the client. Okay, and last part, you will be learning about the web caching. Web caching is nothing but, or caching is nothing but, it will be maintaining a proxy server. Each and every time a web server, it maintains a proxy server where actual data is not being received every time. So whatever data is being accessed by the client, it will be stored onto a cache. Okay, that cache each and every time displays the data. Actually, it is not referring the web server, it will be referring the cache server. So cache, what does it do? It each and every time it sends the information to the particular client through the help of the cache. So you can say it's a proxy server which gives the information related to that aspect when temporary storage happens in the cache. So this storage happens, and each and every time you access the cache, you don't access the web server. Okay, so web cache is subsequently, it reduces the work of the web server. Okay, so by maintaining each and every time the data, storing the data onto a cache, it reduces the time, plus it can get the data at a faster rate. Each and every time accessing the same data, it may take time when you are accessing the web server. So through the cache, you can save the time also, and easily you can access the information. So it is said to be a proxy server. It's a cache server. Okay, and subsequently it reduces the traffic, mainly when it is said to be accessing with multiple kind of data. Okay, so these and all things you have learned, how HTTP is being handled, what is HTTP, what and all is said to be present in the HTTP. It requests the grants, it responses the client, maintains the data onto the server, it gives the data from the server to the client, and it maintains a web cache through which it is said to be storing the data temporarily, and it generates multiple different kinds of errors when it is said to be considered. Okay, this is HTTP. Okay, thank you.